everybody. I know this is late, but I need to tell you about what happened with Joe. A long time ago, Joe knew my whole family. I called Cindy up, and I told Cindy that I needed to talk to Joe. I wanted to ask him some questions about his life, and he allowed me to interview him on Zoom. And it's on YouTube. And all you gotta do is go to my station and listen to Joe speak his own life, his own story. And this is what I wrote from his conversation with me. Mr. Joe Sallas. Joe Sallas was a lifetime friend to a lot of people. Our family knew Joe all our lives. He knew my mother Mary. Hung around the restaurant at Hamilton Torrance Mary's Coffee Shop. And Uncle Victor's 24-hour toll bar, towing and cab business. I just met Cindy today. About a year ago, I asked her permission to discuss the working with her father and my book called Sad Valley Secrets. So Cindy set up our Zoom interview, and I posted it online on my YouTube channel for my book. His chapter is called My Sad Valley Justice. I wanted to know more about Joe's life because we intertwined with mine on so many levels. Joe Sallas was the first Mexican iron worker in Chicago's own local #1. He began busting rods for $2.25 an hour at the grain elevator on 130th Torrance. Many landmarks on Chicago we are familiar with that Joe worked on. He began busting rods at 130th Torrance, many landmarks. Okay, working with the Skyway American Bridge on our Chicago Tollway Bridge, Joe tied those rods. He refined his knowledge of what it took to become the best skilled worker. With his bare hands, he went up the ladder. Joe went on to become Chicago's city inspector. He was on vacation in Acapulco when the city commissioner called him up and said, "Joe, there's an emergency. Get back here right now." And he did. On a high-rise building in Belmont Avenue, there was investigated, and it was found that there was carbon monoxide leak in a woman's apartment. And Joe was told to investigate personally. Because no one would do the job, he said. Joe was calm. Joe was he designed his own protective outfit that was needed with special tools, and his own voice was the only inspector who understood how to temporarily reroute the smoke to an adjacent building before they lowered him to the staff to find the carbon monoxide leaks. Joe found the leaks, and he told the city that it was urgent and now mandatory for Joe. He inspected our fire escapes, railings, where the rivets were rusted and a dangerous condition for everybody in emergencies. He realized that these rivets were the cause of the leakage and the rust and potential dangerous traps for all of us. Joe did that. From that point on, the welders were notified that every rivet in the city had to be inspected, and Joe got those contracts. Joe did that for us.
I worked with him.
Right.
I had the hammer.
All right. Safety. Safety was always Joe's concern for his crews. He explained how American rigs provided them with their work attire, hard hats, gloves, tool belts, crescent wrench, and the bullpens, and the boots to walk on that iron. I never realized that. Joe told me. Nowadays, he said they don't walk on iron like that, like they used to. Now they have lifts. Joe rallied with the unions for his workers. He got out there. He got out on those picket lines to strike with better pay, health insurance, and conditions on the job, and enough money to take care of your wife and child, which was a benefit that they fought for in the 1960s. Joe fought for that pay raise, and Joe got it up to $15 an hour, which was a great bargain back in the heyday because it brought up their benefits with good health care because it was like $50 an hour. Joe supervised the crews at the Richard J. Bailey Law Center and our Prudential Building. Reasoning with the safety that was demanded on his job, he got up front and center, and he set the standards for our unions. Joe did that for us. Then he got seriously into my story about my two uncles, Walter Alf Idaho disastrous accidents. Joe was there. Uncle Sonny was walking on the ground with a child was fighting the Robert Taylor Homes building projects when a crane operator lost control of a 4-foot billet. And up from 100 stories was dropped on the back of my Uncle Sonny's head. The helmet was crushed. It smashed his neck and his spine. The union sued for $10.5 million. He died after 5 years, suffering endless surgeries to save his life. My great Uncle Victor. He was a tow truck driver for the city. He was called for an emergency during the Chicago race riots where there was a derelict vehicle that was blocking the roadway. Uncle Victor was ordered to hook it up with a passerby, ran up, and Joe was there. Joe said that somebody threw a cigarette right into the trunk of the car, and there was one of those cocktails in the trunk, and it blew up. And my uncle was burnt alive, and Joe was there. And Joe saved him. Joe ran over there and saved him. Uncle Victor's body was burnt totally. 5 years he lay in Solutions at Cook County Hospital. Joe was there to save him, or he'd be dead. He got on a helicopter to go to Cook County Hospital. The burn unit, the best in Chicago. He suffered skin graftings for the next 5 years. When my cousin, Uncle Sonny's daughter, Judy King, was talking to her father, she ran away to Colorado Springs. Joe listened to me when I was telling him that I was flown from the Lansing Airport to Colorado Springs to find Judy with a seasoned pilot with a 2-seater airplane. Joe laughed. He laughed because I said it was so scary. But you know, Joe wasn't scared of things. Then Joe let loose on his stories, and we all remember the Joe Sallas, the veteran, our country's hero above and beyond the call of duty all his life. I mentioned I just got my Uncle Victor's medals from his service, and he asked Joe, "Hey Joe, did you get your medals?" He said, he went on and told me his missions. What do you know about this? You gotta hear this. You gotta go to the YouTube channel, and you gotta listen to this. You gotta listen to what Joe said. He said, World War II is in Special Forces. Stationed in Fort Campbell, Kentucky, where he was going to be sent to Vietnam. The orders came through that all the men who spoke Spanish were to go back to Fort Bragg and the invasion of the Vietnamese in Cuba to fight Castro. They were sent to Homestead, Florida, and were shipped out. The Spearmint Chewing Gum Company and Zenith Radio were going to pay $50,000 to and from the troops to knock out the roadways in Cuba so the planes from Colombia couldn't land, and they would have to fly back to the boats where they came from. So Joe and the guys blew up the roadways, and it was a success. Kennedy refused and said, no payment. They were supposed to get $100,000. Joe was pissed. Not only Joe, but the rest of the Green Berets were pissed. So they threw off their hats in a big pile and they burnt them. They set them on fire. Then, Joe was offered $20,000 to travel to Mexico by his captain to recover a Russian parachute. Joe did the impossible. He got it. And he had one request. He said he wanted to jump it. Airborne! Said it was the best jump. Described the Russians used 58 pounds, the most we ever destroyed before. And now he has 7. But it was so powerful that he planned to aim from the golf course and try to land in a swimming pool, but he was dragged halfway through the course and it was caught up. All the commotion caused the sprinklers to turn on and almost losing control, and he landed halfway in the swimming pool. Joe's life was full of adventures. He was full of the guy in off airplanes. It was his passion that he passed on to the job. Full of adventure and daring episodes, Joe's experience surpassed what every military man had to know. Your life depended on it. Okay. One more page. But you can listen to Joe tell this story. I'm just reiterating what he told me. Okay, then he said, Joe described his training on on the most state-of-the-art military equipment, nighttime goggles, helmets, interactive high-tech communication devices, grenades. Finally, he was advised that the Mexican army was looking for a drug cartel. On top secret discussions went on, and he described the horrors that they faced. The reality of having to see the cartels had rifles and silencers and vests so you could focus past 2 football fields. The cartels were murdering people, and the cops were losing the battles. Joe's commander, John Pierce, he remembered his name. Called Joe and said the coordinates and the second coordinates of where they were supposed to land on this mission. It was like a big cornfield, but the underground tunnels where he found the stash. Rifles, scopes, cases of grenades, red burning grenades, he said. Strike grenades, he said. Ammunition of all kinds. Joe seized it all and took it across the border to Laredo. Upon his return, they were so relieved, the people. They gave him a special letter to put on his vehicle, so everywhere he went, they gave him free food, they gave him gas, they loved him, they said he was welcome at every stay at all the hotels, because Joe was honored with what they said was a general issue. His missions were a success. Joe was a success. Our veterans, they fought together as brother in arms, they died together, and now they sleep side by side. To them, we have a solemn obligation. The only reason why people hold on to memories is because memories are the only things that don't change when everything else does. Speak their name. Someone I love has gone away, Mr. Joe Sallas. And life is never going to be the same because I miss him and I love him already. The greatest gift that you can give anybody who has gone in the past is to speak their name. I need you to understand the stories and tales of days in the life. We can't make memories no more. With Joe, he's no longer here with us. But when you and I can speak his name, then the greatest memory is